Hello friends, happy Teachers Day to all. Today I want to remember all of my teachers, basically in professional life, who helped me to achieve my goal, my success to present there. By the grace of them, I can present lecture to you. That is all from these gurus. So one by one I just tell the name of that guru and then I start with the topic. So I start with Mahendra Kumar Singh, then Kanchan Kumar, Alok Agrawal, O.P. Srivastava, M.P. Verma sir, Vipul Kumar Gupta, Ranjit Singh, Pranay Shankar Garg, Arvind Bide, Venkat Raman, Turani Sahab, and Ramesh Handa Sahab, and Saint Bacon. These are the guru who support me for my professional life. However, there are many more teachers also who support me, to be there. But I cannot tell the name of all gurus in this topic. Otherwise, this will consume the whole lecture. Okay. So, friends, in last lecture we discussed about our culture part. What culture we need to achieve in our organization. So we discussed everyday learning, we discussed respect every individual, we discussed lead with humility, we discussed behavior part. So today I am going to discuss the process improvement side. So it's a process improvement, or you can say the continuous improvement. So any company required, any company, organization or people required continuous improvement. So for that, the word seek perfection. Seek perfection is a very unique word. By this word, we can learn that how to improve. We cannot stop at any time. I can give some example, like some company, they decided one goal, they do the continuous improvement to achieve that goal and they achieve it. But after some time, once they achieve the goal, they stop improving. They stop doing continuous improvement. So what will happen? These kind of company will not be the showcase company in the future. But if you are talking about the showcase company, you can say Apple, Microsoft, many more company who are the showcase company. The main thing, the key part of these companies is continuous improvement. They always think how they improve more. They set one goal, they achieve it, then they again set another goal, then again achieve it. So friends, if I am giving some example to you, you can take the example of cars. So if you have car which you buy, you can take example in year 2005. So the car manufacturer produced the car in year 2005, and the car manufacturer who produced car in year 2010, year 2015, year 2020, you can see the huge change. In year 2020, you will not buy the car which we buy in 2005 because lots of changes are there. So, seek perfection, always say that never satisfied with you. Whatever you make, don't satisfy. Always try to make new. Okay, so friends, now I move to the technical topic, and today's topic is liquid and dye penetrant test. So friends, liquid and dye penetrant test is a technique of non-destructive testing, and the very first question, why we do liquid penetrant testing on the component? So the answer is to detect surface discontinuity. So I can say, friends, suppose this is a component and any discontinuity which may lie on the surface of the component, we can identify the defect by liquid penetrant testing. Okay, the second thing, which material we can perform liquid material testing? So friends, we can perform only on non-porous material. We cannot achieve the better result in porous material which have the pores on the surface. So what will happen if surface have the pores? Then when you apply the dye, what happened? Dye will go inside the pores. So you cannot get the result. So you can do the dye penetrant testing on non-porous material. Okay, what different type of material in which you can perform dye penetrant testing? These are ferrous material, non-ferrous, ceramic, plastic. And the most key point, what I mentioned there, dye penetrant or liquid penetrant testing can detect only surface discontinuity whose mouth is open to the surface. So friends, this is the most important point. You have to remember all the time. You can identify any discontinuity whose mouth is open to the surface where liquid penetrant will go inside the component. Okay, friends, now I am talking about the principal side. So, in the principle, basically liquid penetrant testing, the liquid penetrant red dye is drawn into the surface breaking crack by capillary action. So if any surface having any open mouth discontinuity, maybe crack, maybe any indication, so the liquid penetrant will go inside from the crack, inside from the hole by the capillary action. So you can say the capillary action plays the main role. So the surface breaking crack by capillary action and excess surface penetrant, whatever excess surface is in the penetrant, we can remove. A developer is then applied to the surface to draw out the penetrant in the crack and produce a surface indication. So these are basically the principle of liquid penetrant testing. The main part, surface must be open in the discontinuity and your liquid penetrant will go inside by the capillary action, and after that the excess penetrant you need to remove. Then you need to apply the developer, and due to the blotter action, developer will suck the penetrant from the capillary. Okay friends. So friends, now we start with the 7 basic steps for liquid penetrant testing, that is the visual liquid penetrant testing. So first step is cleaning. So cleaning is very essential to remove oil, grease or any kind of contamination which may block the opening of the discontinuity from the component. So cleaning is very important, and make sure friends, whenever dye penetrant is witnessed by you, cleaning must be in front of you, so you can ensure that all the contaminant will be removed properly. The next step is application of penetrant. So application of penetrants, basically we need to apply penetrant in all interested area by the help of 3 methods. One method is dipping, spraying and swabbing. So any of these 3 methods you can apply penetrant on the component, and basically penetrant you can find in red and violet color. uh, due to best contrast ratio, we use red and violet color. And if you are talking about the fluorescence liquid penetrant, then yellowish green is the color. Okay, the next step is the removal of the excess penetrant. Friends, in this you need to make sure that once you remove the excess penetrant, you need to use the same direction cloth, and don't apply much more cleaner and thinner to remove the penetrant. Otherwise what will happen, if you use the excess thinner or cleaner, then it may happen that penetrant which go inside the capillary will go out. So to be very particular for removal of the excess penetrant. Then application of developer. Developer you can apply after the cleaning will, and after applying the developer must be uniform. Apply uniform, otherwise what will happen, if developer is thick in somewhere, your indication maybe not come properly out. So developer must be uniform all everywhere, and you have to provide sufficient time for developing of the indication. Okay, so next step is evaluation of the indication. So after developing time, you have to evaluate the indication by two methods. One is the visual, when you are performing the visual dye penetrant testing, and by the fluorescence lamp, ultraviolet lamp, when you are applying the fluorescence penetrant. These are two different actually dye penetrant. So when you are applying the visual side, the visual light must be 1000 lux minimum intensity, so that you can find the will during the interpretation. If you perform the fluorescence penetrant, then the light intensity of the ultraviolet light must be greater than 1000 microwatt per centimeter square. And if we are talking about the sensitivity of fluorescence penetrant and sensitivity of the visual penetrant, so fluorescence penetrant have the higher sensitivity. You can find the minor indication much more in fluorescence side. Okay friends, so now the sixth step is the removal of the residue. So you need to remove after completion of the test, otherwise it may the cause of any corrosion or anything. So after the testing, after the report preparation, you have to clean your surface. Then you can apply some protective coating also on the component, so that no corrosion will happen. And next I will show some animation, so you can understand better. Cleaning the surface, remove the contamination, then spray, apply the penetrant, then clean the surface, excess penetrant removal, apply the developer, give the developing time, then you can identify the indication on the component. Okay friends, so now I move to benefit side, benefit part of the penetrant testing. So penetrant testing can identify small fatigue discontinuity which cannot see by visual eye, but the point must be the discontinuity must be on the surface. Okay. Second point, any non-porous material can be tested. Maybe metallic, non-metallic, magnetic, non-magnetic, conductive, non-conductive, any kind of material we can perform liquid penetrant testing. In the case of ceramic and plastic also, we can perform the liquid penetrant testing. Visual indication for the discontinuity or form, which is very direct. So after applying the developer, when you see the indication, it is very visual. You can see by the visual eye. And friends, liquid penetrant testing are not a costlier affair, so you can apply anywhere, like your area may be high, maybe volume is large, whatever. You can perform liquid penetrant testing anywhere, but accessibility is required, but cost is also very low. In 1000 bucks you can find penetrant, cleaner and developer. Okay, limitation side, there are some limitation, like as I told you that liquid penetrant testing can perform on non-porous material. So there are some material who are porous in nature, like cast iron, so you cannot perform testing on the cast iron, and you cannot get the proper result in the cast iron. Okay, the second point, only defect that break to the surface can be detected. So any indication which any defects which are not break to the surface, maybe subsurface or inside of the component, you cannot get the result. So limitation is only surface break indication you can find by liquid penetrant. Direct accessibility, so it is also required because you can assess the component, then you can perform the LPT. So this is again one limitation. And if your surface is rough, then you can also not found the better result. So this is also a main reason, limitation you can say. Surface must be smooth where you can perform liquid penetrant testing. So friends, I hope the animation what I presented you is well enough to understand better dye penetrant testing. Now some key point I want to discuss for dye penetrant testing. That is basically related with the student, what I taught or what we discussed with the guys, that some students are very technical side, and some students are very physics side. So basically, if I am talking about the keyword in dye penetrant testing, so the technical side, I write three words: wettability, penetrability, and dwell time. If I am talking about the physics side, then contact angle, surface tension, and viscosity. So friends, if I am talking about the wettability is very simple concept to understand. You can take the example of water. When you take the water and throw in the floor, so water will what do? Water will spread in the floor, and spread in the floor because why? Because its wettability is high. The water's viscosity is also less, and it will smear in complete surface area. But if you are talking about oil or something in which specific gravity is not low, then what will happen? It will not smear completely in the floor. So wettability of the dye basically will be high. If wettability is high, it will smear more in the floor. Now the same thing you can discuss in physics, the contact angle. So if you are talking about the contact angle, so I just make the drop of the contact angle so you can understand better. Suppose this is the drop. This is the drop. So what will be the contact angle? Contact angle is this one. This one is the contact angle. So if contact angle low, then what will happen? Contact angle is low, then wettability is high. It will smear more in the ground. Okay. So second point, we will discuss the penetrability. Penetrability should be high. Why penetrability should be high? Because you can take the example. This is the surface, and one minor hole or blowhole, pinhole, porosity, whatever is there. You apply the penetrant. What will happen? Penetrant will go inside the surface. Due to capillary action. If the penetration power is not high of the penetrant, it will not go inside. The similar way, if you are talking about the physics, surface tension should be low. If surface tension is high, so liquid will not go inside. It will blow outside. So surface tension should be low, penetrability should be high. The next part is the dwell time. Dwell time is the technical, and viscosity is the physics. So what is viscosity, friends? Viscosity basically the thickness of the fluid. The fluid what you are using, like penetrant. Penetrant is a fluid. So viscosity is what? Viscosity must be low. If I am talking about the viscosity is the thickness of the fluid. So you can analyze. If you require low viscous fluid, it means thickness of the fluid should be low. Take one example, like honey. Honey is having what? High viscosity or low viscosity? Yes, you are right. Honey is high viscous, and due to high viscous, if thickness is high, if you apply honey on the surface where minor pinhole is there, so what do you think? Like honey will go inside the penetrant? Honey will go inside the capillary? No, due to high viscous. If instead of honey, in kerosene or dye which are having the low specific gravity fluid will go inside faster. So if viscosity is low, dwell time is also low. If viscosity is high, dwell time must be much higher. Okay, so friends, now I am talking about the discontinuity. Discontinuity in casting, like heat treatment cracks, fatigue crack, porosity, cold shut, seams, hot tear. These are the indications we found in the liquid penetrant testing, because all these discontinuity having open mouth discontinuity. We know some discontinuity which are not open mouth and we cannot find by liquid penetrant testing, like inclusion, like some kind of shrinkage, you cannot observe that. So friends, the discontinuity which has open mouth in the surface we can find in liquid penetrant testing. So friends, if I am talking about welding, so lack of fusion, lack of penetration, crack, undercut and many more you can find in liquid penetrant testing. But the important point, the discontinuity have the mouth, open mouth in the surface where liquid penetrant will go inside by the capillary action. Okay, so friends, I hope this lecture will help you to understand better for liquid penetrant testing. And friends, if you like my video, please do like. If you don't like, please dislike. Or if you like to share with your friends, please do share. And friends, please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much.